Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. They're awesome. If you're interested in a Yamaha golf cart, perhaps a motorcycle, EV, a scooter, perhaps, go-kart, I already said a go-kart, e-bike, reach out to my friends at Impact Power Sports. They're in Rockford, Michigan, along 13 Mile Road. 14 Mile Road? Why do I always forget that? Anyway, impactpowersportsmi.com. I just got some horrible news. Not like the life or death variety, not like of anything real or tangible, but shitty news. I'm guessing some of you will find joy and laugh in my face about this. And honestly, that's all you can do. I just got the dollar amount that my guy who is selling the fraud bus wants to ask for when he puts it for sale. Now, as you know, I was hoping that about the cost of the sale of the vehicle, the RV, the fraud bus, would be like what I owe, so we can get back to zero, be made whole. Now, it's not really. I mean, I put 35 plus GER down on it a year and a half ago. That money is gone. So now I'm like, all right, I just got to get out of this thing. It's been a death trap. It's been a lemon. It's been shitty. It's been horrible. Get out of it. So that's what we're doing. So then you're like, well, okay, I'll sell it for what I owe. Not even close. Holy fuck. So I owe like 147, 148 large. Yeah, we're like, I don't know, 23, 24 large under that. We're going to let it go for 124.4. Now you're like, EZ, why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Well, it's because I trust the guy who's selling it for me. I trust these people. And he does his research. This is what he gets paid to do. He goes, Eric, this is why this is going to sell for this much. If you ask for more than that, it's just going to sit there like an asshole, and everybody's just going to see it and go, nope, nope, nope. So add another penis to my butt because I'm getting boned yet again because of this goddamn RV. So when I take the phone call, I'm talking to the dude, and he's an expert, super sweet guy. And he's telling me, I'm listening on speaker, and Pooh Bear's there, and she knows what we want to hear. That 146, 147 range just to get out of it. Then I just pay him. By the way, I also owe him 6% on the 124.4. So we're sitting on, hey, here's $30,000. Oh, fuck. And Pooh Bear, I gotta get her on here. I might have to get her on here more than once today because something happened that was amazing yesterday that had me going from zero to hero. That's what I wrote the title of this show as on the live stream. And she is involved in that story too. So I think taken from a song by an artist that I really like named Ray Wiley Hubbard. He's got a line in a song, well, it breaks my heart, but what are you going to do? Nick says, damn, $147,000. That could have been a Silverado 2500 and a sweet fifth wheel with 47,000 left over. Yeah, you do a great job of making me feel awesome, cock. Thanks. Thanks for your awesome input. See if we can get the princess on here. I don't know what she could be doing. She's here.
Hello, you have reached Dinah's cell phone.
We'll have to touch base later. So, that's it. Ramon says, yeah, but any new truck is a flaming garbage can. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's fucking bad enough as it is. The fraud bus is a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, you know what doesn't make me feel good? You could have done this. Yeah, you could have done that. Yeah, thanks, armchair asshole. The good news is it'll be gone. And then the healing can begin. Thank you, Bob. The audio was echoey there because the second mic was on. Megan says, can you write those dollar figures off as show content? Yeah, but that's just a percentage. It's just, I normally do. Ben Glaze says, could have bought a radio station for that kind of money. Yeah, no matter what anybody tells you, never ever buy an RV. All right? And if they do tell you, if you are going to anyway, whatever you do, do not buy a Thor. And if at all possible, I would avoid buying it from where I bought it at General. I wouldn't do that. Because I don't like the fact that they sell shit products and they're well aware of it. Nick in Houston says, I want to Google what it looks like. What model is it? Oh, I'll show you. Let's see. 2024. All right. This is the fraud bus. The bigger picture. That is the fraud bus. Looks outstanding. Looks wonderful. Megan says, I bet it has a vanity outside of the bathroom. Fancy fucks with hot tub money. I'll tell you this. This thing is quite a spectacular. I mean, when we first bought it, we were just enamored with it. And it started out great, you know. Oh, my God, we're so excited about the travel season. And now it's like, I don't ever want to travel again. Badger says you might as well keep it. No. Come on now. There's no way. I'm so glad I'm getting rid of it. It breaks my heart. But what are you going to do? That's what I'm saying. Let's move on. Actually, I think we're going to get back to it because I've got to get Pooh Bear on the phone here to talk about this. Megan writes, good news, though, 3 days until Josie. The puppy dog will arrive soon. Corey says, camp it up north and have it be a permanent part of Fear Bunker North. Yeah, that might as well just let it rot. that's kind of like what your suggestion is, but we just can't do that. It breaks my heart. God damn, does that break my heart. Yesterday was, oh my God, I almost got in so much trouble. In fact, for a period of time, I was. If you elicit a response from Pooh Bear that is, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you're in deep shit. And boy, was I. I'm the only guy not drinking, except for Dave, the guy driving the boat that we were on yesterday. Went to go visit our pal Dave, and it was all the Diana's book club. So all the blondes are there, Pooh Bear, and one of the blondes' husbands named Kirk, and then Dave Veldink is at the helm, and I'm just standing there. Dave and I are the only ones not drinking. Everybody is bombed. We're pulling into the dock, and they're singing. They're actually dancing, like, on the boat and singing 80s club hits. And then they started singing Delta Dawn. And Man Bun Chris says, oh, no, a boat story. Is this why you were a hero? Yeah, that's exactly why. And I started out as a zero. And what I'm about to tell you that happened, I had been very, very careful. I was very concerned about this. Very, very concerned about this. And I had thought about it. It had crossed my mind several times during the day that when you're out on a boat, this tends to happen. You hear about this happening. I know this happened once before with Pooh Bear. And that is dropping a phone in the water. All the ladies are stumbling off. All they want to do is get off the boat and have sex. And everybody's horny. They're having so much fun. They've drank their asses off, and they're just, let's go get some dick, just stumbling off the boat. It's unbelievable. Dave and I are looking at each other, and Kirk, oh my God, boy, man, these women. And Diana gives me this cooler. It's full of empties. High Noons and Trulies and all that swill that they drink. And a lot of the booze is in the actual cooler. This is one of those soft coolers, and collapsible. So I take all the cans out because there's like an inch and a half of booze inside of the cooler. So when I dumped out the cooler, all of the booze went into the water, and the phone, Pooh Bear's phone, was there in the side, and I watched it. And I'm just, as I dump it out, it just goes, gone, right in the water. Now, the water is murky. This is one of those areas of the Kalamazoo River that, like on the main channel, the water just goes right into Lake Michigan, through Saugatuck and into Lake Michigan. But in this area, it is where all of the feces collects. It's so bad there that on the docks, you have to have like an aerator installed to, and I don't know what that does. Somebody tried to explain it to me, and it's too much for me. I can't follow. Those aerators somehow are like an abatement to the disease that's percolating in that water in the dock. And what you're supposed to do is you put your water in the dock, or your boat in the water, and you get the fuck out of there. You don't touch the water. It's not great. Doesn't stink, but there's bad shit in there, according to David. Phone's gone. I tell Pooh Bear. She stops singing Delta Dawn, What's That Flower You Have On, and screams in my face. You gotta be fucking kidding me! Now, I almost said, I didn't really have any recourse. I wanted to blame it on her. I wanted to say, yeah, well, but no. So this is the look on my face. And she goes, no, you didn't really, did you? I go, no, it's gone. It's gone. She's having a heart attack. This is as close to having a child die without having a child die to her. To most people. That's a bad feeling when your phone goes. At this point, she now gets off the boat and she's like, oh my God. She can already is going through the withdrawals on the phone. And I'm just looking at Dave and we're just looking at each other with like cringe faces like, oh, fuck. And right at about the same time, we realized that, because I said to Dave, I go, how deep is that water? He goes, about 4 or 5 feet. It's disgusting. This is the type that if you step in it, your foot goes down about 1 foot because of all the feces that is at the bottom of the water. I go, really? And he goes, yeah, most phones they really are built, they can last quite some time in the water, and they go down a lot further than that. And I go, are you thinking what I'm thinking? He goes, I would. Why not? I go, all right, Dave, let's get in there. He goes, well, I'm not getting in there. You are. And it just so happens I brought swim goggles because I was considering going swimming in Lake Michigan, which I did not. Stevie says it's like when Kramer was swimming in the Hudson River. So now I get in and I swim over to the exact spot where I was. And he goes, why aren't you just walking? I go, I don't want to touch the bottom as much as I want to avoid touching the bottom as much as I can. And I get over and I look up at Mary. I go, Mary, stand right on the edge there. Exactly. That's where so it should have fallen because it fell straight down. And I looked where she was and I looked at the water and I went down and I put my hands in the feces and I'm feeling around. Nothing. I look up and I've drifted. I'm not quite in the right spot. So I get to the right spot. I go down, put my hand down, immediately found the phone. At this point, all the blondes and Pooh Bear are on the balcony shooting video and watching me. And Pooh Bear's got this look of disgust on her face. She wants to kill me. And then I put up my hand like fucking Ultraman and held it up over my head. And then I hear, whoa, yeah, fuck yeah, motherfucker. They didn't say that. I get out of the water. The phone it's fine. There's no issue whatsoever. I was like, what the fuck? I've been sitting there for like 3-4 minutes. Stevie says, wait, there's video and you haven't shared it with us. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't have it. That's a mistake on my part. I need to get that, and then we can come back to that. That's a great call. Thank you. I know for a fact that a couple people were shooting video. Nick says iPhones are waterproof. You can take underwater video. Yeah, we weren't aware of that. So then I gave it back to Pooh Bear, and she immediately was, oh, my God, that poor thing. Hell, I'm the poor thing. I got out of the water, and Mary, David's beloved, says, okay, there's a pool over there. I would go in the pool right now. And then when you get home, and take a shower. So I was all over it. Nick says, iPhones are waterproof. You can take underwater video. Maureen says it's fine, but it's coated in liquid poo. Nick says, I have a phone 100 feet down in Lake Michigan. At least my nudes are safe. Rebecca says, did you bathe in Lysol when you got home? Yeah, so that was my night. And Kirk says, you're the only one that didn't drink. How did that happen? That was horrible, man. That was a bad, bad feeling. I did not think I was getting out of that one. Molly is here. She's late. You missed all the good stuff early. You got to get here earlier. I'm trying to figure out where Pooh Bear is. This is now like 3 times I've reached out to her, and I'm just not getting through. Megan says it's been a minute since she's gotten a new phone, though. Right? Exactly. iPhones are water resistant for like 15 minutes since the iPhone 13 came out. Yeah, I think that's what saved her. Did you know that you're not supposed to put them in rice anymore? That's a no-no. There's a reason for it, but I don't remember what. So that's what last night brought me. Glad to be able to share that with you now. Maureen says, you sure know how to have fun, don't you? Yeah, we have a memory forever. We boated over to Dave's boat is awesome. See, he's got these and by the way, I was hesitant to have him get into the throttle. I always like to just go slow, but he says, fuck that, let's go fast. And all the ladies wanted to go fast. I was the only old buzzard who didn't want to go fast. But the water was pretty calm. There wasn't a lot of waves. So then he just got into the gas, and now I'm a fan of him getting into the gas because on this little boat, he's got 2 300 horsepower V8 motors, and this thing screams through the water. Oh, my God. Just the speed that we were cruising at. I was just like blown away at the power of this goddamn boat. Intense. And then we boated over to NFL quarterback Kirk Cousins' house. That dude has this mansion on the beach. Absolutely awesome. It looked like one half of football, Dave described it, paid for that thing. That guy makes so much money. He signed like a $130 million guaranteed contract last year with the Atlanta Falcons. And then, like, he didn't do shit the whole year. Yeah, that's how I can look at it. I can compare the RV to the Atlanta Falcons. The 2030 GER that I'm going to be, I'm getting soaked now on the RV for $65,000. That's how much of a hit I'm going to take. That is a life-changing hit. We're going to have to do some serious aggressive saving in order to turn this around. 65 large, nothing to show for it. Nothing. My God. So the next time any of you feel bad about something, I want you can help yourself by thinking about the shit that Pooh Bear and I are into with his goddamn RV. David says you're saving a ton in future repairs. Well, that's true. And just the overall cost of it. Corey says, can you sue to get it back? Nope. I cannot. It is not that easy. Nor do I have the time, nor do I want to spend the money, and nor do I have the energy to pursue that. And I would lose. The law states that as long as the dealership makes an attempt to repair, which they did, you have nothing. My complaint is inferior product being sold knowingly by a dealership. Now I have to prove that they are knowingly selling bad products that they are aware of that are going to fail. There's no way you can prove that. None. Mike says, whatever happened to them giving you a refund? Yeah, I think if it had been a short amount of time after I purchased it, sure. But you got to understand, I bought it, immediately put it into storage. 6 months after I bought it, I took it out for the first time. So that's kind of burning on my brain right now. It's going to take several days for that to stop hurting. So that was kind of like affected my whole brain outlook for today. It's a desperately bad feeling. And for me, the way I've learned to cope with these things, when you get some degree of bad news, is to just soak in it and wait. Okay? Something will happen that will make you feel better. And I think this is actually a good rule of thumb. When bad things like this happen, the key thing to do is discuss and do nothing. Because typically when you do something, when you're thinking where my brain is right now, even more fucked up shit happens. And then wait. And as the day passes and maybe another day, well, in this case, maybe a week, you're going to be like, oh, thank God it's all over. Holy shit. Now, I haven't yet accumulated the pile of money that I have to put in the wheelbarrow that I have to take over to my consignment dealer. So it's all going to resurface again when I yank that money and bring it over to Dude. But that's how you make a strong Eric Zane and a strong Pooh Bear. Cole goes with Jocko. Lost $60,000 on an RV. Make it 65. Good. Megan says maybe DC Storage will sponsor your podcast. Yes, I am going to approach that when the time is right. Now is not the time. We take care of the personal business. Then I'm like, hey, while I got you here, what better person to sing the praises about your consignment selling arrangement than me? You've walked me through everything. It's been fantastic. Let me sing the praises of your consignment setup here on the podcast with regular interval. Hello there.
Did you call me?
I called you several times. What are you doing?
I'm organizing my drawers, and I don't have my phone on silent. I don't have my phone on loud.
So I was just talking with these folks about a couple of important news items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first one is taking an even bigger hit on the RV. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so mad. To be honest.
This is the equivalent of taking what will now be $65,000 and lighting it on fire.
Yeah. I think we should make Thor pay for it.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think you can just wave a magic wand. I think it's much more complex than that.
Mm. Well,
it's my life's goal to say shitty things about Thor Motor Coach for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think they should know that too.
Oh, I let them know. I post about it on social media how shitty they are. I tag them in the post that they're goddamn thieves.
Ridiculous.
Next thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I got a dog hair in my mouth.
What did you say? You got a hair in your mouth?
A dog hair in my mouth.
What was going through your mind yesterday when I was standing next to you and I said, I just dropped your phone in the lake?
I was like, are you serious? That's what I said. Are you serious?
Oh, you said, are you fucking serious? You screamed it so loud. All those rich Dutch people were shocked at that.
No one was out there.
Did someone shoot video of the recovery?
Yeah, I think Chris did. I'm pretty sure she did.
Okay, I'm going to have her text that to me.
Yeah.
When I was in there.
And like literally a minute before that, I said, I'm putting my phone right here so I can get out of the boat.
I don't remember that. You mean in that cooler?
Yes.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yes. You did.
Jackass. Now, what was my response after that?
I think he said, well, at least we have insurance or something. I think that's what you said.
At some point I said that, but initially I said nothing.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm going to go, fuck. Now, when did you realize that I was starting to get into that gross water, which, by the way, was so bad?
So someone said something. I think they're like, Eric's going in to get it. I go, what? And then I look out the window, and there you are climbing down the ladder or whatever with no shirt on. I'm like, oh, no.
You thought there's no way, right?
Yeah, I thought there's no way he's going to find it because I didn't know how deep it was. I didn't know it was so shallow.
You didn't know how deep it was, and we thought that it was. I mean, as soon as it hits the water, I thought as soon as it hits the water, it's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was. But I mean, how long would you say it was submerged for?
4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I was going to say.
Yeah, and then so when you see, because my hand came up with the phone first.
Yeah.
And then I came up, and then you're like, oh my God, he fucking got it.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I can't believe it took us that long to get in the water.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know how deep.
No, I didn't. I thought it was I thought it was 50 feet deep. I didn't realize it was 4 or 5 feet deep.
Right. Exactly. So I didn't even think it was an option to go after it.
Right. I didn't either. When I put my hands in there, it was the equivalent of sticking your hands in shit. Like if there was fresh, loose, warm shit, that's what it was. That's what it reminded me of.
If you hadn't had goggles, would you have still gone in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If I don't even know, maybe I'm still going to get pink eye, but I had the goggles on, so whatever.
Yeah. As long as you don't get like flesh-eating bacteria or something
or
like that.
brain-eating amoeba. That one's my favorite. Brain-eating amoeba.
Ugh, that would be awful.
How much time do you think it's going to take before you start to forget about the fact that we just lit $65,000 on fire?
Yeah, well, if you keep reminding me, then I won't forget it all. So there's that.
If you were driving down the road and somebody did something in their car that you didn't like, how likely are you to lay on the horn?
Depends. Depends on what they did.
If you were on the phone with me, would you lay on the horn if some...
Why are we going back to this again?
I don't know. For some reason, people aren't convinced.
Oh, well, I think they need to let it go. I mean, that's been settled.
How excited are you about Megan's puppy?
Oh, she's so cute. Very cute.
Yeah, we got to go see
I
it.
want to meet her. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted?
Yeah.
Did you not sleep well?
No, I slept fine, but I mean, I just feel beat up after eating another 30,000.
Okay, don't say it again. I want to email Thor and tell him that they need to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you are in a driveway and Hot Wings truck is there, how likely are you to hit it with? I didn't. Aaron.
Goodbye.
Bye. Rebecca says, let Diana email Thor. I can't tell her what to do. Are you kidding me? That statement alone. You think I like control her? You will not email Thor. I don't give a shit what she does. I don't even give a shit if she lights a place on fire, for all I care. Fuck those guys. I'm going to go ahead now, since this thing is about to be put on the market, and delete any Facebook posts with me talking about how shitty the fraud bus is. Knowing my luck, it's in like some type of weird algorithm, and people will now be able to pay attention to it. And God damn it. Let's see here. 20. This one is, let's see. Because I'm looking at another one of these. This is like the same thing. This is mine, but a different color. I don't know if this is an old ad or what. But this one shows my rig at, it says 159 with the price crossed out. So I don't know why my guy is charging only $124,400. So maybe that's something I ask him about. Part of me wants to just stop the podcast and say, hey, wait a minute, what the fuck? Goddamn son of a bitch. Full fridge. It's a great looking, oh, this is brand new. I see. This is when it was brand new. Son of a bitch. All right. Alan says, call him now and we will chime in. No, we're not going to do that. Megan says, did you get those bunks for the dogs? That's another thing. We got the bunks. We're like, yeah, now the family can go with us. In the year and a half that we had it, no one ever laid on those bunks. Not once. Benny did. That's it. Rebecca says, first topic for the Zane and Queen of the Forest podcast. Man Bun Chris says, make sure you delete the Facebook post where you write garbage over it in red marker. Those make me laugh, LOL. Megan says, my parents is 35 feet, one bed. They don't want us with them. Mine can sleep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Fuck! Never again. Thanks to the folks watching on Facebook and YouTube. I'm about to kick you out. We have a Big Fraud Wednesday tonight. It's important that you go to patreon.com/Eric Zane and sign up for 7 days free so that you can enjoy our Who Are These Free Beers episode, which happens at 6 p.m. And then the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, which happens shortly thereafter. You can sign up free for 7 days. I am now going to kick you out. Actually, before I kick you out, I'm going to do a preview of this week's Who Are These Free Beers? I've got a number of clips that I've pulled, but I don't want to reveal too much because it kind of like spoils it. You know what? Let's just do this. Let us go to a quite a long clip, the longest clip I have. There was a number of free beer word scrambles and shit like that happened in this most recent set of clips that I've pulled. So I'm just going to go ahead and whip out the entire 2-minute and 25-second supercut of free beer brain tumor talk.
They were innocuous interactions and answers questions that your children or children. When can we see the baby? Where it comes from? Twins are in second grade. They have not prevented me with any homework that would send me for a loop. I want to hear about someone else's misery. You have a lot of admiration for pretty male swords. Dog feces. I love that free beer trashed Yellowstone. Like when you type in Brussels sprouts. Yeah, all of my kids were potty gramed. Tic Tac, salary, and wet bread. Regular E for real. Everybody joined in with that loud rejoinder. That is incorrect. How much did you waver? Sniper, sharpshooters, free beer. Let's start with the past. It'll make us appreciate the present. It's often cold and windy that time of year, so they do that courtesy shovel.
A torrid of action.
The supposed nice pool says, I thought she and Ryan Reynolds were pretty okay before of all this. How long would that rose ceremony last? Water will start to be wet to the morning show. And then eventually one of them reaches in and pulls something out. People who overreact. Gail Gadot. Then we'll get to their next article on the list. 4 wonderful examples. Trying to connect. Hey, how you going? All your girls' moms are dead. The worst pace to live in the world. Conquering. I learned how to have a successful marriage. Your word is conscientious. Contestant for Dumber Than the Show trivia where you can money. Around the world next. Subsequently, Mike Rhodes is the head kite. That was 2013 when that happened. A 34-year-old man, Maine. Nope. Named Florida. Nope. 2:30 on set. Nope. He wanted to sing Linger from the Nope. He did what anyone do it. Nope. That's not what Dolores Riordan died for. Nope. That one was on purpose. Nope. We'll explain next on Nope. April and Traveler. Nope. More than 20 years of successful. Nope. Benman with Nope. And we understand each other. Nope. Probably more important. Nope. Steve's aggression against the Verges. No, there didn't. Let out a barbaric yelp. Nope. I mean, maybe you play Pokemon every day. Spread on Yik Yak. Mate, did you use Yip Yap? Nope. Intermediate origin. Comedian Tom Segura. Nope. Influencer. Nope. Nope. Influency type. Nope. If he had been one of the childs, it is the Free Beer My Helping show. Nope. What did your Virginia do? And then dry the zipper. That's strategy. Nope. Their jackpot. Your town does medical research is nope. With his Pokemon Cup. Surely they didn't expect you to remain signal. Nope. That it's in their education. Allows you to make morning. Nope. Further accentuate. Spray a little water on the front. Nope.
Okay. That's 1 year. What a ridiculous sequence. My God. Oh, Megan says Free Beer and Hot Wings started popping up on my reels. I blame you. Well, anyway, Ben Glaze and myself will get after it tonight at 6 p.m. Thank you for checking the show out on Facebook and YouTube. Send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. I appreciate that. And off you go. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. You can reach out to them at 616-532-6600. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Berlin Raceway has racing this weekend. Go to berlinraceway.com for tickets. $14 when you get them, up to $11.59 Friday. Price goes up to $18 after that. berlinraceway.com. 15 and under free. Parking free. And, of course, you can bring in a cooler with all of your beverages and soft drinks. Soft drinks and snacks. No alcohol, no glass, please. BERLIN, berlinraceway.com. Easy. I get my hair cut at King's Room Barbershop. 3 locations. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street in beautiful Wyoming. Go to kingsroom.com for more information. King's Room Barbershop. They will make you very, very happy. I'm sorry, that's kingsroom.net. If you go to kingsroom.net, you'll see their locations, schedules, hours of operation. Haircut's going to set you back $21. You can get color done, whatever you want. Get your beard trimmed, if that's your thing. And off you go at King's Room Barbershop, kingsroom.net. Seabear 495 says, hey, easy. Do you think free beer and hot wings make $500,000 a year to fuck up like this? Yeah, that also breaks my heart. I don't know that they are making that type of money anymore. During COVID, most of radio took pay cuts. It's really weird. You know, people like in the middle of contracts were asked to take cuts. I wouldn't be surprised if they had to engage in that type of maneuver, which sucks and is ridiculous. Seabear says, so like 125 to 250. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I have no idea. The only thing I'm aware of is that Greg talked about that those boys are up for a contract renegotiation, which they're probably starting now. You know, months away from the deal ending, you start to talk about it. But who knows? I don't even know what how that works nowadays. It's been so long. Chris says the real question is, how much is Tommy making? Now, I can tell you with reasonable accuracy that he's probably making, 25 to 30 a year, minimum wage-ish type of rate for entry level. If you're under contract, can you say no to a contract? It's a contract, so they need to pay you the money agreed upon. Correct. But there's the looming specter of if you don't, somebody's going to have to get cut out. So somebody gets fired if you don't do it. That's the old radio trick. You either agree to the pay cut or you or someone's going to get fired. Aaron points out the radio company should bring to the negotiation table clips from Who Are These Free Beers. You know what's crazy is at the end of the day, make fun of all you want. The radio company, typically they would, if the radio had top ratings, which they do, then they get bent over a barrel. We had several of those contracts. This is before the bottom dropped out of radio in terms of revenue. And you could bend them over the barrel and make a lot of money. Now, the top ratings really doesn't matter like it used to because they're not making any money off of those ratings because a lot of people don't advertise on radio anymore. I'm sure they'll be fine. But you know what, though? Now that you mention it, a show like that, there's been a lot of radio companies that have slowly started to whittle away at the amount of people that are on a morning show, cutting the budget that they pay out. And even though that show is spread out over like 30 markets in Town Square, so they're getting their bang for their buck, they're probably fine. But I wouldn't put it past them to somehow, for Town Square to somehow start to like chip away at the money that's paid on that show. Because Town Square pays a portion of Kelly Cheese's salary. It's divided up between Danny Hunchback and Town Square. That's what Ross told me about. And I can't remember if it's Town Square pays 40 for Kelly and Greg and Chris pay 20, or if it's the other way around. Okay, they like split her salary cost. but they probably pay for her insurance and her parking pass and all that shit. And that matters to a radio company. They might say, hey, you either pay the freight or we can't pay her. So that could happen. And then there's Steve is not paid for by Town Square. That is paid for by Free Beer and Hot Wings. And he's obviously horribly overpaid. He does, entry-level work adequately, things like phone call here or there, cut and paste edits, and that's about it. Vastly overpaid, which is why when we hired him, we agreed to pay him like minimum wage, and he got pissed about that. I was like, well, and we all agreed. We go, yeah, but we offered him like $30,000, and he of course called me and bitched at me, and I'll never forget that. It's a story worth telling. Steve wants to be a producer of the show. We already have a producer, so we're hiring a producer's assistant. We offer him what the job is worth, minimum wage. Greg, Eric, Chris agree to offer him minimum wage. I go to take a nap. Greg offers him minimum wage. Steve says, let me think about it. He hangs up. I wake up from my nap. Steve has called me and leaves a message on the voicemail and says, thanks for the lowball, dick, and hangs up. Well, that should be it, right? So I call Greg. I go, hey, he just left me a nasty message. I tell him what happened. He got more money because of that. How the fuck does that happen? All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.